And we're off.
And they're off. They head to the first chest and we find a piece of heart, and we're going to have a routing divergence between these two runners, finding 50 rupees in the sanctuary, robbing the sanctuary of its church money, so Acktheboker can go ahead and buy some bombs later on.
That's not a bad start early on here. Penguinpuff now going to head up to Uncle. We got an early map check.
Check. 2 out of 3 in the light world are pendants, which means guaranteed requiring of the Cane of Samaria.
Yep, because one of those 2 dungeons will be required, whether it be Misery Mire or Turtle Rock. So we'll be seeing the cane at some point here. 10 arrows from the chest. And Acktheboker now going to be heading up to the Lumberjack Cave, getting 20 rupees. Ooh, nice pull from the tree. Not bad at all. Only $5 from Uncle. He's a cheapskate today.
Oh, look at the crab there giving out 20 rupees a pop, too. So Acktheboker really loaded with money already.
Yeah, this could be a very rich seed at this rate here. Let's see what the Lumberjack Cave has to offer. Big heart on there, so I doubt we'll be seeing that this race.
We will not be. And it turned out that crystal number 7 was the one that's over in the desert. So pendant, and 7, none of them being anything super spectacular because we don't have 5 or 6, and we don't have the green. So all of those are in the dark world.
Ooh, that is trolling on the highest order, all things considered. But we'll see how that plays out as this race goes on. Acktheboker now heading into the mushroom area of the forest. Finds triple bombs. Well, that saves him some money there. We'll see what's in the forest thieves hide out.
Absolutely no need to go ahead and purchase some in a little bit later on here. So Penguinpuff using this to his advantage to go ahead and grab some extra rupees. I don't think we're going to have any problems getting the money for Zora this seed.
Not really, especially when we keep finding 20s like that. And he's opting not to go to Kakariko right away. That's an interesting play. He's right there.
I think what we're going to see him do is... Oh my goodness, I can't actually think of what we're going to see him do. Okay, he's going to take the left route here and maybe try to do the tree pull, not the tree pull, but the bush grabs here for 2 extra bombs.
I guess that makes some sense, though. With as much money as he's got already, I don't see the reason for it. I mean, we haven't found any 300 rupee drops yet. It's likely we'll find at least one more. He'll have his Zora money, no problem. So this is an interesting play for him.
But he does get both of those bombs.
It does pay off. I won't deny that. So we're going to see them kind of converging our way into Kakariko. But first, Ack is going to check the race game to see what's happening. Nope, he's going right for it. He's not going to waste time.
He didn't even check to see this race game, so he's doing this blindly, right?
Yeah, he did not check it at all. He is assuming there's something there, or he figures he can just exit out if he doesn't like what he finds there. Let's see if it pays off for him here. And
well,
300. There's that 300 drop I was talking about.
Penguinpuff now taking the conventional route into Kakariko Village. We'll go ahead and check back the bottom side while Acktheboker will let us know what's going on the south side. So we'll find out everything that's going on in Kakariko, and then we'll flip positions.
Yeah, we're going to learn a lot very fast. We've got triple bombs on the library shelf. Let's see what we got here in blindside. Flippers right out the bat.
Flippers are very, very nice. There will be no fake flippering on over to Zora.
And
there's
Power
the
Glove
as well. So this Kakariko Village already giving us enough reasons, and Penguinpuff will have enough money for Zora by the time he is done with Kakariko Village.
Yeah, Acktheboker already has that Zora money lined up. I mean, he can get it even after checking the bottle vendor, so he's in really good shape. In fact, he's even going to spend a few bucks over at the shop and get some more bombs.
Go ahead and paying for some of the commerce here, supporting the small shops of Hyrule. I support this.
Indeed. Of course, going to check the chicken shack. Meanwhile, Penguinpuff checking the well, finds a piece of heart starting off. Excuse me.
And we do not have the chicken clip as Acktheboker throws it to the north, and we find more money. Of course, why not? Money for these guys. And hey, a bottle, which is actually going to help out for Penguin, because now he can definitely route the sick hidden properly.
Yeah, and get some code red for his treble. Let's see what the bottle vendor has. And he's got just a 10 bomb upgrade. So we're pretty much finding most of everything we're finding here. But still, Flippers and Power Glove early on. That's not a bad start.
Acktheboker 1-0 in Swiss. Penguinpuff their first race in this, not Swiss, but group stage of this tournament. And now it's time for these guys to go ahead and swap positions. The only thing we're going to find out differently at this point is what does the Sick Kid have?
Yeah, Sick Kid's not the heaviest of payouts, but it's good to always check it early when you can, because if he does have something big, missing it early can come back to haunt you. Let's see what he's got for us today. And it's... Ooh, Ether!
Acktheboker is going to go ahead and pick up his Ether as well. So, once Penguinpuff makes his way to the south side, Acktheboker could just got to check the Thieves' hideout, and then he will be all set and done. And he will be heading over towards the south shore.
Most likely, always a lot of good potentials there. You've got the dam, you've got the mini Boldorm cave, and of course, you can always route in the Ice Rod cave, one of the most difficult locations to route no matter how you do it. So we'll see how that pays out.
Well, if they can find themselves the boots, that would definitely help out.
Ack now picking up his flippers and power glove. Penguinpuff's not going to risk checking it. He's going to check the race game. He's not going to risk going it blind. And he's opting not to pick up the money, but then again, he doesn't need it.
Well,
he's already got quite a bit.
Here's the thing with Penguinpuff. He doesn't have enough money for Zora just yet. So the interesting aspect here is if we don't find enough rupees and Acktheboker gets something nice at Zora, that would be something Penguinpuff may not get for a little bit. But Penguinpuff is going to go check the back of Escape, so I like this play.
Definitely not a bad play. You know, it's not as much as the South Shore, but routing this in early could pay off big. You got at least 3 potential items here. And, you know, Escape in general tends to pay off more often than not. So I don't see this as a bad play either. Let's see
what we have, Shades.
We got triple bombs. We've got a piece of heart, and we've got $20. Nothing.
Well, it paid off for money, but nope. The power glove aspect of that Escape did not pay off anything different here. Acktheboker using some bombs to help himself and blows himself up in the face.
Yeah, that didn't work out the way he planned. But nonetheless, he still has more than enough bombs. He clears through. Let's see what the mini Moldorm caves he's got for us. And we find some good here. We have piece of heart. Yeah, 300 rupees. Well, there's the money problem fixed. 5 arrow upgrade, 5 bomb upgrade, and Moon Pearl.
Oh, Penguinpuff is doing Hooligan.
Oh, that's an interesting play. Hooligan is not something you see very often in the main tournament, so interesting to see him route that in.
And we know that it's not going to really pay off that much for Penguinpuff because he's going to go into the mini Moldorm cave. Once he gets done with that, he's going to be like, why did I do this? 100 rupees up on the island.
Probably not going to be seeing that picked up today, but since we have the flippers, we're going to go ahead and check the Hobo. Again, probably right in the Ice Rod cave on his way to Zora.
I do have to point out Acktheboker while we were looking at Hooligan room for Penguinpuff picked up the Moon Pearl.
I thought I mentioned that.
You very well may have. I may have forgotten it.
I could have sworn I said that. Hammer!
You know what time it is.
Yep. Stop. Hammer time.
But I don't want to stop. These guys want to go to go mode. You can't get into go mode if you stop.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Now, I don't think Ack checked the dam. Penguinpuff did and got the bloomerang for it. And let's see what's the green dam and heart container there. Yeah, Ack did not pick that up. Not a big loss for him, missing that, but it's weird that he didn't route that in.
Acktheboker is going to route in the Ice Rod Cave at this point.
It's easy to get to when you have the flippers. You can get around a lot of the more dangerous aspects, especially those crabs who can do a ton of damage. You know, you have to go the long way around. So having the flippers makes this a little bit easier. Meanwhile, Penguinpuff heading up to Eastern Palace. Let's see, $50 in the Ice Rod Cave. So, Penguinpuff realized he forgot something.
Now, Penguinpuff realizes that he can go ahead and check the Hobo, and this is actually going to go pay off for him with the hammer.
Yes, there is.
So Acktheboker now going to go head on over towards Zora. Let's see what 500 rupees is going to pay these guys at this point. The seed will never, ever make it so that Zora is a sign that gets pointed to you via the money that the seed gives, but sometimes it can make you wonder. Let's see what's in the waterfall cave. Nothing.
Piece of heart and triple bombs. Not much there, yeah. But getting so much money early on and getting flippers early, it's almost directing you to Zora at this point. Like, it's demanding you go there.
Yeah, it makes you wonder.
And we've got a piece of heart on the Zora ledge, so not much there, but let's see. 500 rupees. Will it be a life lesson, a love lesson, or will it be worth?
I think it will be something pointy.
We have yet to see a sword yet, so that I wouldn't be surprised.
I was thinking more along the lines of arrows.
Oh, that too. Those are both pointy and sharp. But let's see, we got
Arrow!
an arrow. You called it. You called it on the money there. Good call, Rick.
Vampire skewers.
We found a witch. Shall we burn him?
If you burn me, I can't do the remainder of this commentary with you.
Ack now gonna head back down. He did not check the dam. Oh no, he's heading straight to the Dark World.
Makes total sense.
Access, so probably gonna head over to what I like to call the Prince Cave because it's the location formerly known.
We have 5-6 is going to be Palace of Darkness and Swamp. The Green Pendant, everyone's favorite place to hang out, the Ice Palace.
Oh, yeah. So we'll see. Now we're going to head into the Prince Cave. We'll see if it's going to be actual hype or if it's going to be tripe. We shall see shortly. Starting off, we get 20 bucks from the thief. Not much there. And then we have piece of heart, 20 bucks, another piece of heart, and 5 arrow upgrade. I was almost expecting another 20 there, but then again, or to keep that pattern going.
Well, I guess this is why it is the artist formerly known as Hype Cave.
Yep. It's not as much hype as it used to be. Meanwhile, Penguinpuff's going to go ahead and check the dungeon area of Escape. That has not been checked yet, so it'll be interesting to see what we find. And Ack heading over to old Stumpy to see what he's got hiding.
Oh, good old Stumpy. A very, very wise man. What does he have in store for our runners? I bet it's just money. There it is.
You're doing it again, man! You have the spoiler log up or something?
Not yet. Next up is going to be the digging game, where any dig between number 1 and 30 is going to yield the prize for Acktheboker. Go ahead and put in your numbers into chat. Tell us which number you think it's going to be. Number 18 for a bomb upgrade.
I'm going to say 10 for arrow upgrade.
7, 8, 9, 10, nope, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Well, I was almost right. I was 3 off. It was a bomb upgrade.
You were close. You were very close.
15.
All right, Penguinpuff now. I did not see what he got in the other chest in Escape, unfortunately. But there's probably not much left, all things considered. There's a piece of heart, and so unless he found the map in that other chest, that means the map's going to be in the sewers.
I think you are right. Acktheboker about to get his absolute nothing here in the back 3 of Escape. And Penguinpuff is going to be heading for the mini Moldworm Cave because he doesn't have the Moon Pearl yet.
Yeah, he'll be picking that up shortly. Good call on that one. Let's see where Akka's going here. Probably Eastern at this point, based on where... Nope, he's going to go check the dungeon area of Escape as well. This part of Escape is... Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, well, we're going to go ahead and check the same things we have seen from both of these runners earlier on the other side of the screen. It's time to remind you that you can go ahead and follow our runners and just enjoy more content from them as they continue throughout this entire tournament. You can do !R to get their links.
Definitely give these guys a follow. They work hard so that you guys can have a good show. But as I was going to say before you added that in there, one thing about the dungeon area Escape is one of those areas that you don't think about. If you don't think about riding early, you're going to forget. And I've seen it cost runners so many times. They forget to check that one chest, those few chests in the dungeon area, and I've seen it pay off more often than it probably should.
I think Penguinpuff at this point would make his way over towards Sarashla in Eastern, but he's going to prove me wrong and go to the Dark World while he'll be going through the Disappointment Cave.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's not going to be happy with what he finds there. So right now, our runner is pretty much doing a lot of similar paths. It's one thing I've always said, when you have runners this good, the way these races turn out is based on what gambles do these guys make and which ones pay off. It's a little bit of luck, but a little bit of skill.
Exactly. A difference of a gamble, a difference of a routing gamble can make the big difference in this kind of run. Who finds the hook shot first and decides they're going to gamble through that path up Death Mountain and find some treasure trove up there in Death Mountain?
Yep, there's always those different things. And one thing I have seen, especially with version 27, is that one thing you should always do is listen to the logic. If the logic is pointing you somewhere, 9 times out of 10, that's where you should go. It may throw you off every once in a while, but more often than not, that's the way you should be looking.
That, by the way, was the map. We did not see a key in that cell chest, so therefore, it will be a key inside the dark sewers.
So obviously our runners, if they're keeping track of their items, know this and will not bother going for it. It's a waste of time for both of them.
So Penguinpuff will be the first one to head through the Village of Outcasts coming up in just a moment. And Acktheboker, getting the Piece of Heart, now knows that that final chest is indeed the small key.
So which way is he going to go? Because I think going where he is, he might be... Is he going to go... No, he's going down as well.
He has not checked the swamp yet. And that's exactly where he's heading.
Yeah, he's only going to find a boomerang out of it, but he could route some other stuff into it as well. I mean, there's still Agnes Cave in the desert to check.
And that's the only other thing they can check. Penguinpuff is going to be heading up to Skull Woods, which is, you know, that's a decent play at this point. You don't have a whole lot of things. There's a lot of things that could be in the Skull Woods. Maybe the 2 items are free and accessible to you right from the get-go.
This is very true, though. It's odd that neither of our runners have bothered to check Eastern and Sarhasala, because that's at least a good solid 6 items in that direction, but they were at maximum, you know, minimum 5, but still, you know, there's a lot of stuff to check over there, and they could, and that means there's a good chance something big could be there.
Well, so far we haven't seen anything good inside of the Skull Woods. We have seen, what was that, the map and the compass, so Penguinpuff's going to have to take this the long way.
Yep, you're going to have to go into this run room here, which is guaranteed to have a small key since you get locked in, and the only way out is through a locked door. So the logic is set up to provide you a guaranteed small key here to make sure you don't get key locked out. We have a fighter's sword on this desert ledge.
So as soon as we find a book, we'll have access to our first sword.
If we don't find another sword sooner. We shall see.
By the way, it is guaranteed that one of the 2 items in the Skull Woods is going to be behind the fire rod.
Ooh, that's a little aggravating for him, because that means they're gonna have to come back later. Let's see what Agnes Cave got. Just a 10 arrow upgrade. Penguinpuff, I don't know if he death warped or not. Either way, he took a death there.
Yeah, he took a death when he went back into the cave, just so one of these enemies here couldn't knock him dead and send him back to start, because he wants to at least get to this one final chest before he leaves the Skull Woods, because this is still free.
Very true. Looks like Ack now is going to be following in his footsteps, going into the Dark World through the Kakariko. Sorry, can't talk tonight. Penguinpuff struggling a little bit there thanks to those Gibdos, and of course you got to watch out for that Wall Master, who's always likely to get you.
Yeah, he at least now has this free now, but he's got to be careful in this next room. Okay, good. The Gibdo and the skull there always had the possibility of showing up right at that door where you're guaranteed to take a hit.
He finds the big key, so it means the first item in Skull Woods is in the big chest. Wow, that is a trolley setup.
No, that's not a guarantee though. It could still be another small key with both items being in the Mothula and the other chest inside Skull Woods.
Oh, fair point. That's even trollier. Wow, this seed is not playing nice today.
So this is not guaranteed an item, but Penguinpuff is hoping to get lucky by finding that first item right now.
Oh, and chat pointing out,
yeah.
We did see that first chest.
We just found the mirror inside the chess game.
Oh, there goes your prediction.
Okay, well, we guaranteed that one of the items is now fire rod blocked.
All right, let's see what else Ack finds in Village of Outcast here. Got a 10 arrows from the Bobbable Hut. Not much there.
And so the Sea House will be the third stop for Acktheboker. And then a decision. Do you pop into Thieves Town? I would say yes.
They've at least got a weapon. Fairy in a bottle there. That's not bad. A little extra safety there. Yeah, but I would say checking Thieves Town wouldn't be a bad idea. You got 4 chests. And only one of them is guaranteed to be the big key. So that's 3 potential chests with items in there. And they've got the hammer, so they can check the back end of it, too, and check the big chest. So I don't see any reason not to go here.
And also, Acktheboker does have that fairy in a bottle he just picked up, as well as a red bottle that they picked up a lot sooner. And so, therefore, it does make total sense to go in through here. You do have some safeties.
Yeah, the only tricky part would be is do you actually go to fight blind? Because this early on with only hammer, that's a tricky fight.
Well, that's what
there's Quake.
That's what I'm talking about with the safeties, is that's going to help with the blind fight. Definitely is going to help with the blind fight. That would give them more incentive to finish what they start here.
True, it's a little bit of safety, but is it enough is the question, because I know from experience, blind is a pain, and especially with only hammer as your weapon, you know, very short range, and since it's guaranteed 9 hits damage, that's a tricky fight.
For these runners, it's more than enough. There's another safety.
Well, that might help.
That'll help a bit. For these caliber of runners, it is more than enough. We find 3 of the 4 items here in the front end of the Thieves Town.
Yeah, we just found the mushroom. #fetch quest.
So mushroom, a red bottle, and also the Quake. Those are 3 of the 4 items here in the beautiful vicinity of Thieves Town. And a little bit later on, once these guys are done exploring Thieves Town, we'll take a look at that question about what could still be on the pedestal, because there are several options that could still be on that pedestal that would really make these guys quiver, be upset, be annoyed, and blame both of us for rolling out this seed for them.
Absolutely. No, not too much. Let's be fair here, because I already see a few reasons why the pedestal may not be as likely to seed. But we'll see once we get through here what we find.
Yeah, so Acktheboker here, possible to find his 4th and final dungeon item here, which would mean that once he gets to blind downstairs in the cell, he can just go right straight to blind without checking any more chests. And it is. There's the 4th bottle.
It's a B-Torp.
We have at 23 minutes in found all 4 bottles of the seed. No swords, no shields, no tunics, all bottles.
That is an interesting setup, too. You don't see that very often.
So now, also, as I mentioned before, that means the compass, the small key, and the map all remain. So Acktheboker has no reason to open any more chests here in Thieves Town.
Oh, because we know the big chest won't have anything. We know blind won't have anything. We know the maiden's chest won't have anything. So this is all straightforward from here. You're essentially go-moding it at this point.
Yeah, the maiden's chest is guaranteed to be a small key at this point. And as you can see, he does keep an eye track of his items. No need to open that chest.
Nope, not at all. Also, I like how the main sprite has a darker shade of red on the dress to kind of match Link. Kind of goes on with the Christmas spirit here. Holiday is not too far away. But let's see how he handles this blind fight here with just the hammer.
I'm worried about Penguinpuff's health because of the 2 hearts. And we get the bug me pun here. There's a 2 hits right there. And again, don't forget, Acktheboker here does have a fairy in a bottle for safety, and also 2 red potions as well. So there's 5 hits already. 2.5 hearts still remain. This is a beautiful execution.
Yeah, this is a very tricky fight to do with just the hammer. I know I would. Ooh, oh!
And there we go. We lose it now. But with the fairy in the bottle, he is still fine. He may think about, if things get really dicey here, pulling up that red bottle just in case, but he should be fine. I think, he better pull it up now, though.
Yep, he realizes he needs to get that ready, so he should only need 1 hit left. He just needs to get 1 solid strike. There we go. So Acktheboker getting our... go ahead.
I was going to say, that was a difficult ending to the fight. Really lost his rhythm and ended up getting bodied just a few times, and Link's invincibility only lasts a few seconds. There's Penguinpuff. He's going to lose his fairy right now.
Yeah, this is a tricky, like I said, with just the hammer, that is a very tricky fight. I know from experience. I've gone in with Buttersword and still struggled with this guy. So you can imagine these runners, even with only just the hammer, having this equally bad struggle there.
And we find
so he's gonna head on.
And we find out the bee is just the regular bee.
And I think Ack is now going to check Skull Woods. He's not going to be happy with what he finds there, only finding a single rupee along the way. So that's going to be that's something to have to come back for later.
Penguin's going to have to be careful here. 4 hearts remain. If he gets bodied, he loses 2 hearts. If he gets hit with a fireball, it's 1 heart. If he gets hit with a laser, it's 2 hearts as well. And there goes one of his potions.
There's only one because he didn't have the second potion. But he gets through it and gets his compass as well and his first crystal. So they're evened up. The Penguinpuff has already checked Skull Wood, so he's going to be heading off in a different direction here. We don't know what his next plan is.
So while we take a look, while we're waiting for Penguinpuff to determine which way we're going to go, let's go ahead and talk about this pedestal stuff here. We have Eastern Palace as one of the pendants. We have the Tower of Hera and Ice Palace. That eliminates either the bombos or the fire rod, one of those 2. It eliminates the lamp. It eliminates the bow and the hammer, which they already have. And that's pretty much it.
Yep, hookshot could be there. If bombos is found, either rod could be there, the Cane of Samaria could be there, the flute could be there.
The Titan's Mitt can't be there. We already know that's a possibility that it's not going to be there because of the fact that you need the Titan's Mitt to get into Ice Palace. The boots could be there, which you could need for desert.
So I'd say it's a pretty decent pedestal hype index here.
And without the book, we have no way of finding out at this point.
Trolliest thing if the book is on the pedestal. I've seen that happen before where you need the book to get a progression item. So I would not be surprised if they have to go through that kind of trouble.
Acktheboker getting the big key and then colliding in some enemies. And the good thing he did lose that fairy, because otherwise that would have been a failed death abuse at this point. And Penguinpuff with the mirror is going to be able to check a spot that Acktheboker did not earlier.
And what I call the mirror cave, because you have to have the mirror to get here. Only finding a 5-hour upgrade. So still not finding much here. This has been I don't want to say a super slow seed, but definitely a slower seed.
Well, as I pointed out, we have all 4 safeties. We have all 4 bottles, rather. But yet, we don't have a sword, we don't have a shield, and we don't have a tunic upgrade.
And we're still missing quite a few items this early. It's still early on, so we're not desperately looking for items at this point, but It'll be interesting to see what we find. Again, there's still quite a few places we have not checked yet. Eastern Palace and Sir Hassela being the big one at this point.
But we do know there is a sword.
That is very true. Just depends on how soon can they get access to that. Perhaps there is the book in Sir Hassela's closet, or maybe the flute that they can use to go to Meyer and then mirror to the ledge. Either possibility could be there.
Our container on Bumper Cave there for Acktheboker says, no, I don't have any reason to go in there. And in fact, I can't even get through there at this point. And I like this play, checking the graveyard ledge.
Indeed. And while he's doing that, Penguin is heading over to Pyramid and likely to Catfish as well. So we got two equally good checks right now. And again, let's see which one pays off.
This is where route divergence means who gets lucky. There is some luck in Randomizer. We're seeing that come into play. There's a tunic upgrade.
Blue tunic there for Penguinpuff. Not a bad find. It's one of those things never exactly required, but always nice to have, especially for some of the tougher bosses coming up. So definitely no surprise he's picking that up. Let's see what Ack finds here in the Graveyard Cave. We're gonna stock up on his health to be safe, and he finds just another 5-arrow upgrade.
By the way, did Penguinpuff make his way over to Zora?
You know, thinking about it, I don't think he did. So he may be routing that in.
Yeah, that would be beautiful routing at that point. Although he just did forget something.
Yeah, he could have routed in the mushroom because he's got it.
Yeah, I forgot to turn in the mushroom to the witch. Maybe he's just waiting to see the red cane. That way he could do the powder skip.
It's a very good possibility, and the powder doesn't show up first. But let's see what the Catfish has to offer.
Catfish offering these runners. Show up, please. The single arrow.
Now, looks like Ack is indeed going to turn in his mushroom, so we'll find out if Penguin made a mistake skipping that. Actually, he's not checking Zora.
Penguin's making his way back now. Maybe just realized that he forgot to do that.
Perhaps so. Let's see if Ack gets something out of this. And we find Titan's Mitt!
Oh, Titan's Mitt. Beautiful find. Acktheboker's going to be able to upload his potions here and get himself back to good standing here. And Penguinpuff is going to do the same thing right now.
Yeah, it was a good thing he remembered to check this. That could have cost him.
Acktheboker's going to go ahead and visit the Catfish, who has one single arrow for him. And Acktheboker's going to reply to him, you know, I wish I had a bow that I could actually launch this at you.
That would be my thought. Though I like the idea of the single arrow variant, that being the arrow that shall pierce Ganon's heart at the end. Like, that's the final arrow you use on Ganon, is that specific arrow.
Well, neither of these guys are actually going to collect it, so they won't have it. And also, technically, that is a good point by Chad, that a flute would also yield them a sword by getting him into desert.
That's what I was saying earlier. If they have the flute, they can go to Meyer and then mirror to the desert ledge. So that's something they're going to be looking for, is either the book or the flute. But Penguinpuff now going to make his way over to Pod and probably mirror over to Sir Hassela real quick.
Good routing.
And then he can pay. Yep. It's efficient. Efficiency is always a smart idea. If you can do multiple things at once, do so, because that can save you a lot of time in the long run.
A lot of this run is based on how long are you walking? How long are you walking from point A to point B? And if you are going through the same squares over and over again, you're losing time.
Absolutely. Efficiency is king in this game. Let's see what Sir Hassela has. We have $20, 5-arrow upgrade, and 300 rupees. So not quite what he was looking for there.
Stealing the life fortune of young Sir Hassela. You meanie.
Saved up all that money his entire life, and you just went and took it from him. You greedy man.
And you notice he didn't even repair that bomb hole that he created. He's not even going to repair it. He's just going to leave it be for the remainder of this run.
Shame. All right, so Penguin now paying off everyone's favorite little extortionist, Kiki the Monkey, while Ack is going ahead and turning in Jeremiah, but first checking the peg cave.
Well, you know, he was a bullfrog. He does want to go visit the peg cave and sing Joy to the World.
Yeah, Jeremiah was the bullfrog. He was a good friend of mine, too.
Can't believe we're actually referencing Three Dog Night on this stream. Hey,
what are those boots? What are those? So you had to do resident sleeper strats on the peg cave in order to get the boots. That is neat.
And now Acktheboker is singing Joy to the World.
Yeah. Let's see if the swordsmith has anything. And heart container. Well, it's not too bad, all things considered. They need the health.
And there's Gary's lunchbox for Acktheboker, and he's going to go ahead and also drag it with him because he's going to check the Haunted Grove first, which is something he wasn't able to do earlier because he didn't have the mirror when he did his first sweep through. Yeah,
he'll at least check the mirror cave. I believe he did already check Old Stumpy, so we'll see how that goes. Meanwhile, Penguinpuff now working his way through what Dr. Bob Tasek has called the Mullet Mansion, because all the keys are usually in the front, and most of the items are in the back. So it's business in the front, party in the back.
And there's a early big key.
All right, Ack now going to work his way over here. Still hasn't found anything that much bigger yet. That boots being the big thing, and that'll help him. And when he eventually does make his way to the desert, and the longer Penguinpuff goes without those boots, the more of a lead Ack could take with that, just based on speed alone.
All depends on what we find, because if Penguinpuff finds something that's nice here in this pod, that would give him an advantage. Now we're going to come up to a part of this run where he's going to be absolutely in the dark.
Yep, and bear in mind that anything he finds here will be a sequence break, since you were required by the logic to have the lamp. But
magic powder!
Ooh! So turning in that mushroom was not a bad call there. They found the powder. So they'll be able to check the magic. And that actually works for Penguinpuff because he can check the magic bat while he's doing everything else. So that's going to help his routing a lot.
Again, it does come down to the decisions that these runners end up making. Penguinpuff is going to go check the left side, and that's going to say hello to more darkness.
Yep. Ack now going to check the Bonk Cave.
Hey!
Someone call Phantom Ryu, because that's got to be Kane.
That's a nice spot to find that Cane of Samaria, so the boots definitely required this seed.
Oh, no kidding. What a find. Oh, man. And while he's over here, he's also going to check the King's Tomb. Not a bad call. But yeah, that is a huge routing decision there for Ack. Let's see if he continues to pay off for him. Just 10 arrows there from the King's Tomb.
But having the boots getting that cane is really good news at this point. It does get him a little bit further ahead at this point. Now, the funny thing is that these guys still do not have a sword 38 minutes into this run.
That is very true. It's not the longest I've seen without a sword, but this late in, still not finding a sword is interesting.
And we have now checked everything that's possibly to be able to be checked here for Penguinpuff. He's going to go ahead and leave. It's time to go visit Eastern.
This is where we're going to start seeing some interesting plays here. Now, Ack looks like he's going to be following suit and checking Pod and Eastern as well. He's not going to find much in Pod, but let's see if Eastern plays out for him here. Oh, Ack first going to check the pyramid. He's going to get his blue tunic, which he's probably happy to find at this point. So let's see what Eastern has to offer. Penguinpuff is going to check the first chest here, and he finds big key early.
So we do know that Magic Bat will not yield the lamp. We know that for a fact because of the fact that you do not ever need the lamp, or you don't ever need to go through dark rooms without the lamp in order to progress in a seed. These are sequence breaks that these guys are comfortable making.
There is the lamp.
So now that we're back on sequence, that means the Batcave could be worth something. And this also now logically opens up all of Death Mountain, with the exception of 3 chests.
Yeah, this opens up a lot of areas for them. The only things they can't access are the 3 chests in the Hookshot Cave. But then again, who knows? Maybe we'll find it along the way. We still haven't found it yet. My prediction is still holding true so far. Let's see how long that lasts.
Well, Acktheboker's going to go ahead and rob the old man right now. So item number 1 in this Eastern Palace was the lamp. Item number 2 is yet to be determined. I have a feeling there might be an important item at the big key location.
It's possible. If it's not, it's going to be on the Armos Knights. But let's see. Penguinpuff finds in the big chest heart container. So that the vanilla big key chest has a 50-50 shot of being an item. Let's see what we find there. And thankfully, now that he has the lamp, he can do this in the logic. So this works out really good for him.
So the Seed wanted these guys to go check Eastern Palace first to get this lamp, and then go through the Palace of Darkness for this great search. I, again, have a feeling that this is going to be something good that Penguinpuff is going to be coming across real soon.
I'll see you soon enough. Let's see what he finds. And it is
the book!
Literacy! Ooh, this works out. That means we are going to be seeing our first sword very soon, because he now can check that. And he can also, on the way, if he decides to, check the Bombos tablet.
He can check the Bombos tablet, but more importantly, Penguinpuff will be able to beat this Eastern Palace, but Penguinpuff's not heading there.
Well, remember, he needs the bow, so that's all he can check. Remember that. That's the reason he saved and quit. Where is he going?
I know he can't do that, but he's not heading for Desert right now. I think I know what Penguinpuff is going to be doing. He's going to go into the Dark World and do some of that stuff and route it in with all that stuff together with the route to Desert.
And that does make sense. Yeah, that seems to be the plan. It's like I said, that's what something he could do is he could check the Bombos tablet and a couple other things on his way to Desert. And that way, he can't pull what's on the tablet for Bombos, but he can at least see what's on it and decide whether or not he wants to come back for it later. So, wouldn't be a bad call to make.
So, I think what we're going to see Penguin do is go ahead and get the Breadsmith and do the other routing. And there's one other thing that Penguinpuff can do that we didn't see from Acktheboker. You mentioned it earlier.
The bat. He can check the Batcave.
The bat. That is correct. What are we going to find inside the Batcave this time around?
And if Penguinpuff remembers to check the Peg Cave, which I'm sure he will, he'll be happy to find what he sees in there.
He's going to get it now. He's going to be very, very bored right now, hammering these pegs at such a slow pace, but then he'll realize that this game intended him to do that.
Indeed. And then, of course, he will have to remember to check the Bonk Cave in order to get the big red cane, so hopefully he remembers that as well.
And there will be the boots for Penguinpuff.
Those boots.
Acktheboker checking a different path here, and now has found himself bow blocked out of getting the remaining 3 chests, which we know was not anything important.
Yeah, this is not going to hurt him too badly, but
Acktheboker's doing the hammer jump.
He's doing he's doing one of the trickier bomb jumps to do because you only get 1 shot at it. If you can pull it off, it can save you some time. And save you. Oh, he didn't get it. He's got to reset the room and try again. All right, let's see what the bat has.
Batman.
Just a big 20.
And this is a pixel perfect jump here from Acktheboker, and he is successful, does get the map, and now he can go ahead and check these 2 in reverse order.
Penguinpuff going to pick up the purple chest now. He's going to route that in. He's going to save and quit.
Oh, I like this strategy.
Saves him some time.
He's using the Candace and Mario to lead him through this room. I love this strategy.
That is genius. And Penguinpuff going to save and quit to save him some time to get the purple chest dropped off. It does.
He's going to check the
bomb. He's going to go.
No, he's not.
No, he's not.
So fascinating trying to see where this little red Blanc is going. And a piece of heart has renewed from earlier from Acktheboker, but Penguinpuff is now have a new destination in mind. It has a sword at the end of the tunnel.
Indeed, and because he has the boots and the lamp, he can full clear this dungeon and pick up his second crystal.
That's correct. Acktheboker with the dark black square emote going through the dark room. But he's not going to go through Eastern.
No, and that's going to cost him because he does not know that the lamp is waiting for him there, and he's going to need that in order to full clear desert. Where is he going? Is he? Because he didn't get the book either. Oh, let's see what Penguinpuff finds here.
Going for Swamp.
Oh, that's a gamble, especially without the hook.
He is going to Swamp.
That is a huge gamble without the hook shot. He'll be able to get a good ton of chests, but he will not be able to full clear unless the hook shot is in the Vanilla Swamp.
Oh, we'll see if this pays off. So far, Penguinpuff not finding anything here in Desert, but we will soon find out if this was a good play here for Penguinpuff. Obviously, it's going to be something helpful because it's going to give him the sword.
Yeah, he's guaranteed to get something out of this with that sword, but what else could he find here? He's going to check the torch. Thankfully, he's got the boots, so if it's anything good, he can get it. It's only the compass.
That means the big chest and Lamola will have the two items.
That is interesting. You're ready to see that kind of setup, but let's see what he finds. Let's see what the big chest holds. It is
Fire Rod! And the bug catching net for Acktheboker.
Yeah, Penguinpuff just routing like a genius today, and he is getting rewarded for his routing.
Which, by the way, that means if Acktheboker was able to get the book, which he's not able to at this point, or if he finds the flute, he is going to be able to beat Desert because that gives him the fire source.
Yep, and I just realized something else. Penguinpuff has the fire rod, and he has the mirror and the book.
What?
You think? You see where I'm going with this, don't you?
No.
What? He still has to go back to Skull Woods.
Yep, and there is an item in that Skull Woods.
More importantly, he has the mirror and the book. What else could he do there?
Do some light reading, reflect on some things, see what's on the pedestal.
What? That's where I'm getting at there. When you have that kind of setup, it's almost a guarantee you're going to check the pedestal when you finish Skull Woods. It's quick, it's easy, and it could pay off in spades.
Are you sure it's spades, not diamonds?
Well, if it's rupees, it is.
But I have a king, jack, queen, ace of diamonds. I need a diamond, not a spade.
All right, now Penguinpuff gonna start his fight with Lamos. Thankfully, he's got that fire rod, so he can two-shot each of these.
Oh, missed one shot.
Missed that last one.
So he's gonna have to go to the sword or hammer. And so far, nothing. Still nothing.
Can't quite hit him.
And dead.
Not bad at all. Let's see what else Lanmos has. Just a piece of heart. But he gets his second crystal, so nothing bad about that.
And more importantly, he has a fire rod, one of the required items of this seed. So at 48 minutes in was when we finally got the first sword for these runners.
All right, now gonna check left side swamp. Still hasn't found that found anything of worth yet. But let's see what else he finds going in.
Penguinpuff at this point, after he's done with this, may start thinking about going in up to Death Mountain because everything's opened up to him, with the exception of those 3 chests I was pointing out earlier.
And if he finds the hookshot up there, then those open up for him as well.
Acktheboker has one final chance in this Swamp Palace to have this pay out for him.
If he does not find the hookshot here, he is going to have to leave, and that means he's going to be forced to double dip, which is not going to pay off for him. The swamp is one of those dungeons that's, you know, not too difficult to double dip into, but still a big time sink.
Here we go. Last chance saloon for Acktheboker. And is it anything important? It's a red rupee. That's it. He's done.
And Penguinpuff now going to check the bonk cave. He's going to be very happy with what he finds in there.
Hey, Shades.
Yeah?
You know what we're lining up to possibly have coming up real soon?
What?
We have 2 medallions. We have a fire rod. We have the hammer. We have the Titan's mitt. And we have the Cancer Maria.
Early Turtle Rock check?
Could there be an early Turtle Rock check?
That's a good question. But Penguinpuff is opting instead to go back into Skull Woods.
Go Woods.
Not a bad
Makes
call
a lot of
here.
sense.
Yeah, he can full clear it. There's still 1 item to find there, and like I said before, he may opt to check the pedestal to get that knowledge. If he has the knowledge that it's a pedestal seed, that will increase his routing efficiency because he knows he'll have to full clear those pendant dungeons too. So this
currently is in Eastern Palace. We'll be happy to find his lamp real soon. But more importantly, the book.
Yeah, those 2 items very important right now. Again, right now, the advantage is definitely going to Penguinpuff with his very efficient routing, finding all of these good items as quickly as he has. And he's going to go ahead and open up the back end and go ahead and full clear that first. Again, does he check the pedestal afterwards? At this point, I would suggest it because we have several items that could still be there. The ice,
that is right.
The ice rod could still be there. The flute could still be there. The hook shot could still be there. So yeah, there's quite a few reasons to check it at this point.
And don't forget that the last remaining medallion, the bombos, could be there. Especially now that we found the bomb. Especially now that we found the fire rod.
That's very true. And we don't know which medallions are required at all for either of our dungeons, so there's a good reason to check that pedestal.
Well, we're not going to find out the answer just yet, but Penguinpuff is going to have a really tough fight coming up with the Fire Sword Mothula.
Yeah, he's going to rely on hammer strats, which is tricky to get up close to this guy. And it's even trickier when you count the fact that those spikes can cause you a lot of trouble. You want to keep Mothula close to the center as possible to minimize the risk of him hitting those spikes.
Nice
but he gets it.
fight.
Very quick fight. Nicely done. What's he get for trouble? Just a burrito. So the last item is in that back chest in Skull Woods. He's going to grab that mirror out, and then he's going to probably check the pedestal if he's as smart as I think he is.
I think he is very, very smart. I think we will get a pedestal check. We've already mentioned the possible of options here. The ice rod being one, the bomb boats, the hook shot. The flute could still be.
There's too many items potentially on the pedestal to not check it. If there's only like 1 or 2 items tops, I may be a little less willing to check it. But when you've got this many good items, it's almost necessary to just check it and see.
Do we eliminate one of those items here? No. It's a bomb upgrade.
So yeah, if he's smart, he's going to check it. Let's see if he does.
All right, here we go. It is time.
Yes, he's going to check it.
For the pedestal check.
Okay, folks.
And that item coming up. Here we go. The item is... That
is it.
Oh, it's a shield.
It's a shield.
Have a better defense in front of you. It is a shield. It is not a pedestal required seed. And that's bad news. Wanna know why that's bad news? Because there's so many items, so many places where they could be. And now the search just becomes, where do I check first? Where do I go first? Penguinpuff is making a play that I would not have thought about making. Ice Palace.
He has the means to full clarity. He has the fire rod. He has the hammer. So it does make sense. But it is a pendant dungeon. Then again, it's also the green pendant. So that means there's even more potential items here with Sir Hassela. I can see the logic behind this play. And I've seen Eastern Palace pay off so many times that I would probably make this play, thinking about it.
Well, let's find out what is going to be inside this very first chest. Hey, he's going to eat through these penguins to get them away.
Keeps them frozen for a little while, gives him a chance to take a few of them out since he only has the hammer to destroy them. They destroy them quickly enough, no problem there, and finds the compass. Now, even though the odds are in its favor, this is still a gamble, and as Mr. Barry Bonds points out in the chat, if this doesn't pay off, this could be Acktheboker's chance to catch up.
Yeah, because the amount of time that he is spending in this dungeon here, it really could open the door for Acktheboker to catch back up. Again, it is extremely surprising that neither of these runners are making the play for Death Mountain.
It is. I will agree with you on that. Death Mountain is a plethora of items up there, especially when you've got the Paradox Cave with its 7 items. You've got the Spiral Cave. You've got the First Checks and Hookshot Cave. You've got the Super Bunny Cave. And, of course, you've got Tower of Hera. Plus, as we said earlier, they could make an early Turtle Rock check if they were really confident in themselves. So all of the routing just seems like the right play to make. But, fair being fair, Eastern is certainly not much worse.
And we're going to go bomb strats on these penguins. I like this play.
Very quick kill. Nicely done. It only takes 2 bombs.
And yes, there is indeed a midnight race between Amazing Ampharos and Elminster that's going to be on Speed Gaming 1 coming up a little bit later on. I hear we're going to have Desirect on the call for that race.
That'll be interesting.
There's a small key. That's a very nice small key to find, by the way.
Allows him to keep searching upstairs. He still hasn't found the big key yet, so there's a lot to find here.
Now, technically, this is going to be a sequence break.
Yeah, because you need the hook shot to get to that other area.
Either the hook shot or something like the cane or the magic cape. Either one of those 2 items or the hook shot, logically, is what the seed wants you to have at this point. There's the big key. So if the big chest has, like, for example, if that has the hook shot, that means the magic cape has to be somewhere accessible.
Very true. Triple bombs there. Not finding much. We're starting to run out of items here, so hopefully he finds something of worth, because he has found nothing here. And if he doesn't find anything...
We've seen 1 of the 3 items in here so far. So I wouldn't rule this as a bust just yet, but it's a now deeper bust. And, oh, the map.
This increases the chances that Cold Stare has an item, too, giving him more of a reason to dig deeper into this dungeon.
There's a 2/3 chance right now that he does.
Pretty much, in order for it to not be, he'd have to find every item after this.
Yeah, it would have to be here and at the gels. And Cold Star on a fighter sword without the full magic is going to be a pain. Oh, Cold Star is going to have the third and final item of this dungeon.
Let's hope whatever he finds is worth it. Now, thankfully, he does not have to push that block down. He has the Cane of Samaria, so he can get to that he can get that switch hit down without it. So it's just depending on what he finds here in this next chest.
Acktheboker going to check Bat Cave. Will be disappointed. And then we'll see Acktheboker decide to make a choice here. Probably go ahead and do Skull Woods. There's a heart container, so ooh. Okay, so what does Coldster have? This is going to be an interesting question.
This will determine whether or not Penguinpuff's gamble pays off. If he finds an item a good item on Coldster, then this will have been worth it. But if he finds trash, then that means Ack has a good chance of catching up here. So this is the risk. This is what I said earlier. It depends on what gambles you make, and more importantly, which of those gambles actually pays off.
So here's the thing. Coldstare or Sarasla could still have the hook shot.
That's true.
Because this thing did not require these guys to use the Cane of Samaria, but it's also a way around it anyway. So there's still a chance that Coldstare can have the hook shot. We've seen it happen before. I do hope that Penguinpuff has potions, or a blue potion in his arsenal right now, because he's not going to have enough magic otherwise.
He's definitely going to be cutting this one very close. In fact, I think he's going to go to the other side and stock up just to be safe. He wants to make sure he goes in with full magic. Oh, but there's no magic drops from those spots. He might have just enough to destroy the ice shell.
No, he doesn't. You need to have a full magic bar to break this shell.
He does. He does. He's good.
Yeah, in order to break the shell, you need to have a full magic. If you have... Oh, that's a nice quick shot right there, by the way.
Yeah.
You need to have a full magic meter.
Well, thankfully, he had that blue potion, so that's why he was confident enough to go in.
Yeah, but now the real trickery begins. And by the way, those puffs do not go down to a fighter sword slash. You have to spin move it. And these things can really hurt when you're blue tunic. He's got two of them down, though.
Yep, he's relying on hammer stretch and a lot of good dodging to get past those ice blocks and whack those puffs. Just one or two more hits should do it. There we go.
It is. What's the final item on Cold Stare? It is bomb upgrade.
5 bomb upgrade. But he still has one last potential item. There's the green pendant. You can check Sir Hassela. If Sir Hassela has something, then this was not a waste of time.
Just answering what Sports put out in the Sports Cafe did put out in the chat. The only way you have sword beams is if you have the Master Sword or higher. So unfortunately, the beams would not have worked against the casing. So Penguinpuff is now heading for Death Mountain. At this point, he's not going to turn the green pendant just yet. He's going to head for Death Mountain.
Not a bad play to make. I mean, you know, again, a ton of items versus only one potential item. You're likely to find something on Death Mountain, and neither of our runners have checked this yet, so there's no good reason to miss out on this particular location.
So Acktheboker is now done with Skull Woods, and we're going to have the pedestal checked for him to find out that it's a shield. As we mentioned before,
he's probably going to be somewhat relieved to know he doesn't have to do a pedestal seat at this point. But let's see what the old man gives Penguinpuff here. One thing I've always hated about the old man is you can't use your boots with him because it actually is slower than walking. It slows you down for doing that.
The old man can't keep up.
But let's see what he gets for it. Just a big 20.
Acktheboker's heading to Death Mountain.
Looks that way. They're going to be meeting up a little bit here. We've got Spectacle Rock and Spectacle Rock Cave to check as well. A couple items up there.
This is going to become a closer race because of Penguinpuff's decision to go into Ice Palace. If it turns out that Ice Palace was all for naught, then Acktheboker is just caught up.
It's very well likely. Triple bombs in the cave. Big 20 on Spectacle Rock itself. So it's dependent on what's on the east side.
So we'll keep you guys in suspense for a while, but if Sarashla does have something big, that's a huge advantage for Penguinpuff. Otherwise, Acktheboker is even in this race. We're going to find out what's on the Ether Tablet. Shades, what's on the Ether Tablet?
Let's find out. It is the flute! Flute on the Ether Tablet! Maybe we got to find a sword fast!
Gotta go fast.
Oh, yeah! Oh, that is trolly. We have not found another sword upgrade. Let's see if we find one. There's the big key downstairs. That means less chance of a basement run.
What I wanted a basement run.
Well, don't be discouraged yet. There's still a possibility. It depends on whether or not there's an item in the basement. If there is, then basement run still happens. So let's see what we find here.
Sword
There's
upgrade!
Master Sword!
Flute that now is available.
Perfect timing for Penguinpuff. Finds the flute at the tablet. Needs a Master Sword. Hey, here's one for you right here in Tower of Hera.
And Acktheboker getting the same news as well. So both of these guys will be able to pick up the flute once they are done with the Tower of Hera.
Yep, and that's also one of the 2 items in here already found. If we find the other one early.
There's the other.
Oh, there's the sword and shield. And since it's a pendant dungeon, Penguinpuff says, see ya. He's noping on out of there.
Now that he knows that this was a not a pedestal required seed, no need to go on to Moldorm. You're going to have to deal with Trolldorm coming up in the Ganon's Tower later on. Why do it now? And there's the flute for Penguinpuff. Now we are down to just a few possibilities for this seed. The bow, the hookshot, the ice rod, and maybe the bombos, but we do not know. But now we have a way to find out the answers.
Yep. My prediction is still holding at this point. I am surprised. I'm usually terrible at predicting these things, but I might have finally called something here. Well, shall see. Is Penguinpuff now going to check Turtle Rock to see what medallion is required and then check all the items inside? What is the medallion going to be? It is
Ether.
Ether! He can open up Turtle Rock immediately.
Yeah, I don't see him going in now. I see him doing the other Dark World stuff as well as the Light World stuff before he considers going in. But you've got to think at this point, both of these runners are going to think about at least hunting down those chests.
It's definitely looking that way.
And that's going to continue the suspense about what Sarashla has. And inside the Super Bunny Cave, we find 300 rupees and a bomb upgrade.
Not much there, unfortunately. Especially since we no longer really need any more rupees. We've got everything paid off at this point.
Acktheboker's going to go ahead and open up Turtle Rock as well. Penguinpuff's going to go check that one chest we have access to without the hookshot. And that is a red rupee. Sorry.
Yeah, it's very rarely that pays off.
Except for that one time it does have the hookshot in it.
It's very rare, but it occasionally does happen. And
it does.
Mirroring off, he's going to check the Spiral Cave. Thankfully, he has the boots, so that we will not be seeing Resident Sleeper strats here.
We already seen one Resident Sleeper strats already. Why wish 2 of them upon our runners?
Yeah, that's one thing even viewers don't like seeing.
And Spiral Cave having more money that we do not need.
Find all the rupees.
They are finding all of the rupees. The hoarder has rupees. You can get 20 rupees if you really want it. Let's go check the Paradox Cave and see what's inside at this point.
I've
7
been
chests.
I've been calling Paradox Cave the new hype cave because this tends to be the place where all the items start hiding. And with how many items we still have left to find, it's not unlikely that we're going to find something here.
3 or 4, depending on what's needed for Misery Mire. And there's a pair of reds.
Yep, pair of big 20s so far.
So who makes the play for Turtle Rock at this point?
That's a good question.
That could be a fucking question. Yeah, we got a piece of heart. We get more money. Why not?
Like I said, all of the rupees. We get, oh, come on. There we go. Triple bombs. Red
and
meringue.
The blue cane. The
cane of Brian.
Interesting. The blue cane is interesting because of the makeup of the items that these guys have. That does open up Spike Cave logically, and it does open up Laser Bridge.
Indeed. Also, since we have a wrestling reference for the cane of Samaria, we've got the cane of Brian. That's Team Hell No. Any wrestling fans look... I know my wife's calling me out for that.
We get cameo appearances from Mrs. Shades. As Penguinpuff activates the Swag Duck, since we have the audio on Acktheboker's side, we will not raise and stand up for the anthem just yet. Acktheboker he's continuing on. He might be making the move for Turtle Rock, guys.
He may be, but for now, on Penguinpuff's side, the goose is loose.
You can do a little more with oomph when we get the audio from Acktheboker.
Oh, don't worry. I'm holding back for now, but the hype still is coming.
Headphone warning, by the way.
I've got my volume down. Don't worry.
I'm warning the other people that are listening. By the way, Misery Mire is the Quake, so Bombo's not required.
Yeah, that item no longer being a troll potential. So let's see what we find here in the Mire Shack.
By the way, that does... Oh, we get the...
Tempered Sword!
Better sword. So you needed the Master Sword to get the Duck, to get you the Tempered Sword. Misery Mire, by the way, is open, so these guys could make their way into there, and Penguinpuff is going to do it.
Yeah, makes sense. I mean, you've got the boots, you've got the cane, you can full clear this. So, makes perfect sense to me. And Ack is now going to check Spike Cave now that he got the cane of Brian, and only finds a piece of heart for it.
Yeah, it would have been more tremendous if he found something nice and required in there, but both of these guys are not checking Turtle Rock. That could come back to play soon. So now officially we are 3 items from Go Mode: the bow, the hookshot, and the ice rod. And Penguinpuff making his way through this room here, full of the lovely great things that are whiz robes and whatnot. Oh my. And as Acktheboker goes ahead and activates the Swag Duck, I request that you guys go ahead and take off your caps. It's time for the anthem. Shades?
Don't look at me, I ain't singing.
The goose is loose.
Oh, I know. I'm waiting. Now I say it. Ladies and gentlemen, the goose is loose!
Thank you. And so Acktheboker is going to go do the same thing that Penguinpuff is going to do. Going to find his Tempered Sword real soon. So Penguinpuff is going to go ahead and check this. And this now is logically not a sequence break. And hey, the hook shot!
There's the hook shot! So that means we're just a bow and an ice rod away from Go Mode. And they're probably at least hoping to find the silvers. They don't need them, but always nice to have.
So that now makes the backside of the Swamp Palace accessible. There's still some chests that we have not seen from Acktheboker there. And we're going to see what's inside the checkerboard cave as well. Blue Rupee, the second item in Misery Mire, so Penguinpuff knows once he gets the big key, he can just go right straight to Vitreous. Yes, bow is always required because there's a great thing on that 3rd floor of Ganon's tower called Mimics. There's only one way to beat them.
Yep, absolutely. Never fun to deal with those things. Plus, they need the bow anyway because they still need to do pod, which is also bow required.
Bow is always going to be required because of those mimics in Ganon's tower. They are required killed rooms. So, unfortunately, the bow is always one of those required items. Just like the hammer's always required, the Tinsmith's always required as well. And then there's a whole bunch of things that can also come into play. The hookshot's always going to be required because not everyone is like Andy and can hover across the Moldorm.
Yeah, pretty much. That's a tricky strat to do. You got to be really good at it to pull those off. I know I can't do it. Let's see. There's the big key for Penguinpuff.
How vanilla.
Yeah.
So 1 hour 15. You're Acktheboker. You're Penguinpuff. You're 3 items away from go mode. What is going through your mind at this point?
I'd probably be a little concerned about whether or not they're behind. They probably don't feel like way behind because they both have been routing pretty decently, though. Penguinpuff, I would say, has been a little more efficient, minus the Ice Pals play. But, you know, they're probably like, how far ahead or behind are they?
Technically now 2 items behind right now, actually, from go mode. As Acktheboker picks up the hook shot now, just knows he's a bow and a nice right away. What if they're both in Turtle Rock?
Ooh, that would be especially trolly. Though the big troll for Ack would be if Sir Hassela has one of those 2 items, because he still has not done Ice Pals, but Penguinpuff has. If Sir Hassela has something, that would be huge.
And we won't know for a while. Penguinpuff is probably going to go check that when he gets the bow and has a reason to go check the Palace of Darkness once again. But until then, he's got no reason to go back.
Unless, of course, Sir Hassela has the bow, which is very possible.
Which in that case, he might check him out of alarming, where in the world is this thing going to be? I have nowhere else to check.
Yeah, it'll be a while before he checks that. But to be fair, it'd be the same thing for Ack because he wouldn't know either. So, yeah, that's a big tricky. That's a big if.
Right now, Penguinpuff does have a small advantage, but it really comes down to who gets the bow and who gets the ice rod first. Penguinpuff taking on the eyeball here, getting him just on ping pong strats at this point. Ooh, almost loses control of that. That would have been a bad hit to take back there in the bit behind.
Indeed, but he gets through it without too much trouble there, and he's going to get the burrito for it, but he gets his next crystals, so that gives him 3 more to go.
And only one of those crystals he can beat at this point.
Yeah, that one being Swamp Palace, which, if I'm not mistaken, he didn't check earlier. So he can do this in one go, whereas Acktheboker is going to have to double dip. That's going to cost him some time.
Well, that depends on what Acktheboker does, because when Acktheboker goes back into Swamp, he's going to go right straight towards Argus. If Penguinpuff checks the left side, that will catch things up.
That's true. 50 bucks in the checkerboard cave there for Penguinpuff. And he's going to flute out. Where's he headed?
In my opinion, there's only one place for him to go at this point. Head to Swamp.
And that's where he's going.
Again, how much of this Swamp Penguinpuff checks will matter, because Acktheboker right now could maybe seize control of this race depending on where the bow and the ice rod are. And again, we have not yet to see the pendant turn in for Penguinpuff, so who knows what we're dealing with here. If I'm Acktheboker, I'm heading back to Swamp Palace after now getting the hook shot.
Yeah, it seems like the right play to make. This race is very interesting. There's a lot of back and forth potential here. You know, there's no clear leader, though Penguinpuff has a slight advantage. It's so easy for him to fall behind again if he's not careful. That Ice Palace play could cost him. But again, we don't know.
It either can cost him or it could make him. It's that kind of race at this point. There's no guarantees what we're dealing with at this point.
This is where I said before, what gambles do you make? Which ones pay off? This is that moment. That is I'm calling it now. The Ice Palace play is the critical moment that's going to determine this race. If Sir Hassela has something, it's game. Because that means Penguinpuff will have a huge lead that Ack will have a very difficult time catching up from. But if not, Ack could have a chance to catch up here if he plays himself smart and Penguinpuff decides to check left side.
So Acktheboker taking down Vitreous has his crystal. And again, the next play coming up is going to be big. I believe Acktheboker is going to go back into Swamp. And again, we're going to keep an eye on Penguinpuff and see how he treats the Swamp. If he checks the left-hand side, that's going to give Acktheboker some more time to catch up again, depending on what Sarashila has. We're going to keep driving that point home at this point because this is not a guarantee at this point.
Oh man, that's what makes this race so intense right now. Is there's so many what if scenarios, so many questions we have to ask about what this race is going to be, because we don't know. We don't know anything right now. This race is so up in the air, and that's what makes it so much fun too. Because it's like you want to know, and the fact that you don't know kills you.
Penguinpuff is checking left side.
Yeah, I see it. I mean, again, because we're not in go mode, you kind of have to check left side. It'd be a gamble not to, but we also know that this is going to give Ack a chance to catch up here.
Yep, Ack really getting an opportunity to take a little bit of a lead in this point as Penguinpuff is checking the left side. Here we go, guys. This is going to be a lot of fun. Where is the bow? Where's the ice rod? Let's drive this one home. One of them could be here. They both could be here. So where do you think it is, Shades?
I honestly don't know. There's so many potential places these items could be. I get, my gut is telling me that Sir Hassela has something. It's just crying out to me because I know how version 27 likes to troll. I know that it likes to troll people like this. And I get the feeling that in a scenario like this where we don't know where all the items are, that green pendant is worth something. I just don't know what yet.
Acktheboker has taken the search lead. Acktheboker now has the searching lead. We're going to find out from him first what is in the back four of the Swamp Palace. And in chest number 1, we find the bow!
Oh, the bow! We are now an ice rod away from go mode. Who has the ice rod? And that's the worst item to be the go mode item, is the ice rod, because that could be anywhere. The ice rod could be anywhere except for Trinex and Turtle Rock right now. Or not Turtle Rock, Ganon's Tower. It could be anywhere in Turtle Rock before Trinex.
Palace of Darkness is going to be the next step for both of these runners. If Sarashila has the ice rod, Penguinpuff has a commanding lead. Otherwise, Ack currently with the lead at this point. and this is a close race.
It is. Like I said, the critical moment is going to come down to Sir Hassela, because if he has the ice rod, then Penguinpuff has this race. But if not, Ack could find it first and take it. This is so close. It is painful.
Piece of heart raining down onto Ack. That is crystal number 5. Where do you guys think the ice rod is going to be? Ack is going to check the bombos. We have not seen that yet. Could we find it here on the bombos tablet?
Let's find out.
Rain it down from the sky. It is
10 arrows.
And it is now time to head on over towards the Palace of Darkness. Now, we did not find all the items in this Palace of Darkness.
Indeed not. Though Penguinpuff is also going to check the bombos tablet, and he has one advantage here. He has that green pendant. He's likely going to stop and check at Sir Hassela on his way to Pod. This is the critical moment. Without a doubt in my mind, this is it. This is the moment that determines this race. If Sir Hassela has the ice rod, then Penguinpuff will be in go mode, and he will have a commanding lead, because Ack will have to go through Ice Palace to find it. And will probably not check that until it's too late. But if it's not there, then odds are good Ack will find it first, either here in Pod on Helmassar King or in Turtle Rock, and will take the lead.
Okay, we are coming across the Sir Hassela check in just a moment. So this is going to be the moment that Penguinpuff will go ahead and not turn in the pendant at this point in time, because why would we want to go ahead and give us the answer to all of our questions just yet?
Does he not remember that he has it? Has he forgotten that?
He may check it after he is done with this Palace of Darkness.
Let's hope he does, because again, it all comes down to that one play. And there's still a few other places we haven't checked. Penguinpuff, neither of these runners have gotten all the items out of Eastern Palace either. I'm pretty sure Yarmos Knight still has... No. Never mind.
So we found the keys from the mimics. So we know that they're going to be the keys. Penguinpuff is going to go ahead and go take down these guys as well. Wait a second. I want to see something on Penguinpuff's screen in just a moment. I want to see something when we pull up the menu. Okay, nope. For some reason, I was thinking that Penguinpuff's screen had the little menu selector on the arrows, which would signify that we had seen silver arrows earlier, but we hadn't seen it because it may have been in a dark room. It's not to be that case.
No, we have not found the silver arrows yet either. That is still up in the air. I'm calling those are likely a Turtle Rock. I get the feeling those are a Turtle Rock.
Nah, they'll probably be in the Ganon's Tower section that we're never going to see.
Yeah, there's that too.
Or the Pyramid Fairy. Which, by the way, Acktheboker as well as Penguinpuff will be able to check once they're done with this.
Yeah, if they don't find it here on Helmassar, or if Penguinpuff doesn't find it Sir Hassela, that's another place they can check is the Pyramid Fairy. Look at that. Nice fight there for Acktheboker. What does he got?
Is down. We have money.
Just 50 rupees. Woo! I am on the edge of my seat right now. It's insane.
Well, don't fall down.
Don't worry, I'm good.
You better be. We don't need commentary accidents here.
Oh, he's going back in. He didn't check everything. Oh, but he knows the only thing missing is the compass. So he's like, nope, never mind. I'm good.
Yeah, I don't need to go back in here. I think we'll be perfectly fine leaving that chest unexplored. So now the answer of the next part of the question is, where does Acktheboker go? The answer? Pyramid Fairy.
Makes sense. Now, Penguinpuff, you do remember you have the green pendant, right? You are going to check that, right? No.
"90 minutes in, neither of these runners are in go mode. These guys are probably getting really sick of us reminding them where they are as far as this race is concerned. Now, Penguinpuff is going back in. There's a reason why he did not get to that statue room.
We know he's not going to find anything of significance there, but he has to check it because he doesn't know there's nothing there. So right now we're watching Acktheboker really carefully because it's the Pyramid Fairy or Turtle Rock.
And he's hoping to get to the screen transition in time to save the bomb, which he does.
And he does. That's a new glitch that I've just recently learned about in a previous race. I did not know you could do that. It's tricky to do. And so credit to any runner who can pull that off.
And what do we have at the Pyramid Fairy? 2 items inside of here, and it is the red rupee and the red tunic.
Oh,
Penguinpuff does remember the green pendant, by the way. Here it is.
Okay.
Is Tarantula needed? Is he needed?
Watching carefully. What is it?
No bombs!
Triple bombs!
The answer's got to be up on Death Mountain.
Oh no! Ack is going to Ice Palace!
Going to Ice Palace! Oh my goodness! And Penguinpuff is going to go check the Pyramid Fairy. These guys are very reluctant on going into Turtle Rock.
I don't blame them, but this is going to cost Ack the race. I was half right that the Ice Palace play was going to cost these guys the race. One of these guys the race. I was just wrong about who it was going to cost and how. Because this is going to take him an equal amount of time because he's going to try to full clear this dungeon. He's not going to find the ice rod. And Penguinpuff is going to be more likely to head up to Turtle Rock since he knows that's all that's left.
Yeah, he's got really nothing. He's got really nothing else to check at this point.
And to comment on something in chat, you know, this is not a bad play by Acktheboker. I can understand his reasoning for doing this, but we're saying it's the wrong play. It's not a bad play, it's the wrong play.
We know based on what we have seen that this is the wrong play. This isn't a wrong play because you shouldn't be in here. It's the wrong play because it's not going to get you what you need. Penguinpuff. So the next question, where do you go? You're running out of options. You're gonna head up to the
Ice Rod Cave. He has to check that cave.
Okay.
Small check, not gonna take long, not gonna hurt him.
Where else does Penguinpuff have to check after this?
Not many places left. He's checked quite a bit. These guys have checked the equal amount of stuff here. Like I said, it's... what is he doing?
I think Penguinpuff just went too far down in the menu. I think he wanted to go to the mountain cave and accidentally went back down to Link's house.
I think you're right. Yep, he's going to Death Mountain. He's making the play. He's making the play.
But before he does that, remember Acktheboker there checked Spike Cave. That's where Penguinpuff is heading now. And we've got the chat already requesting that this is a hell seed by making a double dip Turtle Rock. We saw this happen in the secondary tournament earlier during the group stage for them, where it was a required double dip of Turtle Rock because you had to go in, you had to get, I believe, the mushroom, and then that gave you the ice rod, and then back into Turtle Rock.
Yeah, and that, well, we don't know if it's going to be a double dip yet. If we find the ice rod in Turtle Rock, then we're good. But if it's in a fetch quest spot like the shovel, which we still haven't found yet, then it's a double dip.
Right now, that's the only way that it can be a double dip or a fetch quest. And Penguinpuff is getting dead-rocked all over the place. This is allowing Ack a little time for his Ice Palace play to not be that devastating. Let me say seriously here, Shades. If Acktheboker finishes off this cold stare in the next minute, this could be a Ganon's Tower differential.
It's very well likely. It's going to come down to that. You know, what routes do they take? Where's the big key hiding? And do they get trolled by Ganon or Trolldorm 2? Those could all make a difference if this goes the way it's going.
And at an hour and 37, this has got to be weighing heavily on your mind. Like, this is killing you at this point. Where is this go mode? Where have my opponent found this go mode item, for that matter? Why do I have to go to Cold Stare to get it? Bombos has been found. And the red rupee. So this is becoming more and more likely. Like, we are going to find either the ice rod or the item that gets you the ice rod coming up in just a moment.
So here we go. Penguinpuff starting his play into Turtle Rock. We are looking for one item guaranteed required and one item optional, which is the silvers. And I'm feeling that at least, you know, one of those is guaranteed to be here. The other, I'm almost thinking both will be here.
I'm still saying Ganon's Tower for where the silvers are going to be. So I would estimate at this point that Ack is about 90 seconds behind. Because he's going to go check Sarashla next, and then he's going to make his way back up the mountain.
It's not a huge differential, but it is significant.
And these are two very skilled runners. Be sure to follow them. They do a lot of great races. There's the ice rod! 1 hour, 38 minutes, and 55 seconds. Penguinpuff, the first of these runners, are in
go mode!
Go mode activated. So there it is. The answer was in Turtle Rock. Acktheboker heading up. Next stop, Turtle Rock.
This is insane. This race has been back and forth this entire time. And it came down to... Oh! Ladies and gentlemen, Dead Rocks, the unofficial mascot of the Randomizer.
Dead Rocks, the unofficial mascot of Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past Trolls. And it's not just in Randomizer. They don't like you. They don't like you in the vanilla runs either.
True, but I specifically say the Randomizer because it represents how trolly the Randomizer can be.
And that Dead Rock ended up nailing both of these runners, so nobody is safe from that Dead Rock.
No, they are not.
Ack now going into the portal. Penguinpuff making his way on down towards the basement.
Indeed. This is where we start focusing more on execution than we do luck. Because the only bit of luck left is where the big key is. Everything else comes down to pure execution and getting through Ganon's tower and finishing this game. You know, the only other item they could want to find are the silver arrows. They may still have to find them on, I believe they're going to have to look on Laser Bridge, which gives them a pretty good chance of finding them.
Yeah, Penguinpuff here with 0 keys going through the ride room on the second basement. Knowing that he does have to deal with the laser script room, does have the cane of Burna, so it's not this. We are not in sequence break territory. Not that it really needs to be. And 2 minutes later than Penguin did is about to get into go mode.
There it is. Okay, there's the compass.
So it is a 2 minute and 10-second differential in the go modes for both of these runners.
There's the key. Does he check that last chest? No. Oh, yep, he's going for it. And there's the burrito, which means that Trinex is likely going to have an item on him. Could he have the silvers?
I say no. I'm still saying no. I'm sticking to no. It's in Ganon's tower. But if it is on Trinex, we are going to see it. For all we know, it could end up being in Mimic Cave, which neither of these guys have any reason to check.
And the big chest as well. That wasn't checked. Or that one chest there in the middle of the lava area. There's 3 chests it could have been in, but they didn't check those. Don't blame them. Not necessary.
Oh, this is beautiful. This is somewhat good execution here. Penguinpuff now losing a little bit of control of that blue head. Gets him to stop. This is good patience, though.
Got him before he laid the ice down. Saves him a little bit of trouble there. And with Tempered Sword, shouldn't have too much trouble with the Trinex.
Well, the thing is with him about ready to lay down that ice is that head's going to stay there. It's not going to shift around like it would if it's not. So that's the perfect time to lay down the ice blast.
Indeed.
Or rather, the flame blast.
Indeed. All right. What is Trinex?
Shovel!
Shovel!
So if Ganon later on says that the silvers are located in the light world, that now adds a possibility that shovel is a fetch quest to get it. And we've got that guessing game, so Shades, you do it better than I do. Go ahead, tell us why people are putting numbers into chat right now.
Indeed, ladies and gentlemen, there are 22 item locations inside of Ganon's Tower where that big key could be. Get your guesses in now. If you're subscribed to any of our speed gaming channels or have cheered 250 bits or more to any of our channels, you can put your guesses in on where that big key is going to be. Hurry and get it, because we'll be stopping it very soon.
And that little incentive there is to get onto a leaderboard. We really do thank everyone for the support of the Speed Gaming family of channels. It's why we were able to put on things like the Link to the Past Randomizer, Zelda 1 Randomizer. Later on today, there's the Donkey Kong Country race that's coming up. There's a small key, by the way, in that big chest, so Ack does not have to do the laser room.
Nope, saves him a little bit of time, but not by much, to be honest.
And we see on the torch a small key.
Rip Bob. So item number 1 is a small key. He's going left side first. Not a very common strategy I see, but we'll see how it plays out. Chest number 2, big heart. Number 3, small key. Number 4, small key. Number 5, piece of heart.
Dark Magician route.
Yeah, he's doing dark magician strats.
There it is. The big key has been found in chest number 6.
Yeah, and the closest person to get it that was subbed was and that's the Dies 34 who guessed chest number 5. He was 1 off, but he was the closest, so they get it. Congratulations.
So that would have been in chest 1. So Penguinpuff might be able to gain not Penguinpuff, but Ack might be able to gain a little extra time.
It's a slim possibility, but every little second helps, especially with as close as these two runners are.
Oh, this is going to be a glorious fight here for Act 2.
He had a slightly less trouble there with Trinex, so he has that's more of an opportunity for him to catch up.
So Ack now getting ready to head into Ganon's tower. What if that right chest that we never saw from Penguin, what if that has the silvers?
That would be particularly trolly.
That would be an interesting way to get back in this race.
And again, if he goes right side first, he gets that big key early. And if he gets the silvers with it, that could be his chance to catch up, because that means he can do a silver Ganon, while Penguinpuff will have to do silverless. And trust me, that is a huge time difference. To answer a question from JT Money in the chat, if you're sub to one channel, no, you're not sub to all of them, but the bot we have is set up so that if you're sub to one of them, you can play the game in all of them. That's how it works.
Ack going in 147.31.
And he's going left side. Well.
Oh my goodness. That is a difference of 3 minutes and 2 seconds, by the way.
Yep. Again, not a huge time loss, but a significant one nonetheless. One that can be caught up, but it would take some luck on Ack's end and some mistakes on Penguin's end.
It would pretty much take some misfortune on Penguin at this point. So Ack now going to the right-hand side will get this big key. And half magic was in the other chest.
That could have been useful for Penguin. Not necessary, but half magic at this point could still have been useful for him. Will he check these other two chests? Yes, he will. There's the compass. And there's the big heart. Oh, I get the feeling you were right. The silvers were in a chest they didn't check.
Well, we'll let Ganon tell us where the silvers are at some point.
Yeah, that's true. And then again, we still have 2 other chests we can check. There's
Make it one more.
There. All that's left is the final chest.
Yep, the final chest coming up. The Moldorm 2 chest, Penguinpuff getting the splash and the run. And there we go. And inside the final chest this time around, what do we have? Vanilla
Big
20 rupees.
So that means the silvers are somewhere else, either in Ganon's tower or one of the chests we didn't check in Turtle Rock. Oh.
Well, I think there's only one chest we didn't get to, Turtle Rock. If anything, Acktheboker ended up checking the big chest. That was a key, which helped out a little bit. So here we go, Aghanim 2. Penguin only getting 1. Oh, getting only 1 there too. Could have had 2, but a little bad on the timing.
Yeah, that was a good setup for him.
Gets 2 there, though.
Yeah, he got a good double there.
And he should get a double here. That's it.
That takes care of Aghanim 2. So for Penguinpuff, and now it's time for the Big Pig.
So Penguinpuff, Tempered Sword. So we're going to be trying to maybe see some strategies going to play here. But without the magic cape, having the half magic for the first 3 cycles of Ganon, really irrelevant.
Yeah, absolutely. But I do believe that Torch Glitch is going to have to come into play here. That's the only way they're going to be able to get through this without too much trouble.
Next question is does Penguinpuff have any reserve bottles at this point? I think Penguinpuff ended up using a bottle earlier. I don't know.
He did. He did. I remember him doing so.
Penguinpuff not clearing him off stage 2 just yet. That's because he didn't set up in a great spot to do some spins. And I think Penguinpuff has now got him to stage 3. There it is.
Yep, he's in stage 3 now. So it comes down to he's got to get that Torch Glitch if he has any chance of surviving this. And he's prepping his lamp to try to set that Torch Glitch up.
I'm going to point this that getting the Torch Glitch, it's not an end-all if he doesn't get it, but it helps out. And it is in Ganon's tower where the silver arrows were.
So it was in a location that neither of our runners checked, probably either in the rando room or that other room there.
A lot of possibilities considering we didn't see a whole lot of that tower. So 12 spins coming up here. Penguin having to be careful because a fall again at this point gives Ack a chance.
How close Ack is, it is definitely down to if Penguin stays on. If he falls off at any point, then Ack could take us from behind. But if he doesn't, then it's Penguin's race to lose.
I like the patience here for Penguin. I really like this patience play.
Slow and steady wins the race. That's what we're seeing here.
He hasn't seen the dot done. He's just trying to be as patient as he possibly can. Tries to get him on over. I think he may be down to 1 or 2 more hits. That's it right there. Ganon is down. And Penguinpuff will be the winner to go to 1-0 in this group. So get your GGs in the chat for Penguinpuff. He's going to go ahead and walk across the bridge. Ack is finishing off with Aga 2 right now. And the official SRL time for Penguinpuff, 1:53.15. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Penguinpuff. That was a great race. I loved every second of it. And meanwhile, now
Palace came down, was a difference. But you want to know what was the big difference for Ack in this run?
What was that?
Double dip swamp.
Yep, that's what cost him.
Double dip swamp. That extra time that Ack had to set up swamp is what's going to be the difference in the times of these races. So did you know B-Torp was here?
Oh.
Well, there was a B in this race.
That's true.
So B-Torp was definitely here.
We saw it earlier. I believe it was Penguinpuff that used it in the blind fight earlier.
And Signal Seed is pointing out something interesting here. Ack's loss here now means that everybody has lost at least once during the entire course of this tournament.
That is incredible, at least in this particular group.
Well, no, in the entire tournament as a whole, because Ack was one of the 6-0s.
Oh.
But this just shows the talent, the caliber of the players we have at this point in this tournament. Nobody is safe. It has to be carefully executed.
It comes, it's not, the skill is never the issue with these runners. It comes down to routing decisions, and it comes down to gambles. And that's what we just saw here with this race.
Ack gambled on Swamp Palace, maybe having the hook shot. It didn't. And that's the time that Ack is going to fall behind in this race as he finishes off with Ganon. Get your GGs in the chat for Acktheboker, who's going to go in the door and finish the timer at 1:55:53.
What a race for these two runners. Yeah, P-Torp was here. We know, my friend. We know.
And if you'd like Link to the Past Randomizer, stay tuned. We do have more races coming up, including at 9 p.m. tonight over on Speed Gaming 2. I believe Bentisi against Frame, I believe. I'll double check that coming up in just a moment. Coming up at midnight, Amazing Afros versus Elminster. That race is going to be on Speed Gaming 1. So stay tuned for that. That's all coming up a little bit later on here for Link to the Past Randomizer. Also coming up, we do have some other great events coming up on Speed Gaming and the family of Speed Gaming channels. 9 o'clock is a Donkey Kong Country 3 birthday race. At 10:30, it's going to be Zelda 1 Randomizer with a nice little run between Amazing Amphros and JSR2 Gamers. That's one of the best races we got coming up in week 3 of that tournament. So stay tuned for that.
Yep, so many races going on here tonight. And that's just in our main tournament. Let's not forget, we had our secondary tournament going on. We have a race at 11 o'clock tonight. But I don't know if that one's being streamed yet, but we have Lightyear versus Bad Moon Z. And I think we're just finishing up a race right now on ALTTP Randomizer 1 between S Diesel and Ninban. So we got a lot of great races coming up if you guys are interested. And right now we have Acktheboker joining us here in the channel. GG, my friend.
GG.
So tell us about your thoughts about that run.
I don't know, man. That's just kind of the stuff that could happen in Rando. I'm lucky that, finding the thing I need, the last possible place I look on like multiple sequences, that could happen every run I've had so far. I'm glad that, it's only happened once so far, but GG to Penguinpuff.
What do you think was the move that may have cost you the race?
I had multiple ones. I know that going to Swamp was a bad idea. I didn't even plan on going to Swamp, and then the Ice Palace play, of course. At that point, it was Turtle Rock or Ice Palace on the table. I would imagine those two are probably what killed me.
Yeah, that was pretty much what it was right there, and we welcome Penguinpuff into the conversation. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you very much. GG.
GG, Penguin.
That was quite a seed. That was a lot of fun at the beginning.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you here in this run that you both ended up going on completely different routes for about a good half an hour, and when it came back, just how tight you two were. And it just came down to, is Ack going to check Ice Palace, or are we going to see you guys make the run to Turtle Rock? And then when it became that Turtle Rock was the answer, okay, Ack's behind by about 2-3 minutes.
Oh wow, that's crazy. I did Ice Palace super early for pretty much no reason. I don't understand my logic.
No, you did Ice Palace too. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ack. I mean, if you hadn't made that play, you probably would have won by a good margin because there was, as you guys know, there was nothing there, and Penguinpuff had gambled that. but because you had decided to run it too, and that double dip into swamp, those two things I think was what cost you the race.
Yeah, we were waiting. Sorry, go ahead.
The going to swamp was so stupid because I rage quit out of pod, and I was like, I was gonna mirror and check Eastern, and I told myself, like, go to pod. If you don't get anything, mirror, check Eastern, because I knew there was something around. I knew I could have sequence broke up the mountain, and I had tools up there, but I wanted to wait because I didn't know what it was going to be. And I just save and quit out of pod, and then I told myself, like, go up the mountain before you go to swamp, and my fingers were like, nah, we're going to swamp, and I was like, oh, this is terrible right now.
It was a fantastic run for you guys. So both of you guys had maybe a little bit of a stressful blind fight. Tell us your thoughts going through that.
No, I had like, what, 3 red potions and a fairy? I wasn't too worried about it.
Yeah, I had that too, but I got down to like 1 heart, even using the bee to chase away the head, so I was kind of freaking out a bit.
Nice.
How about the seed that gave you no swords, and then all of a sudden, oh, here's all the swords you need, by the way.
That was actually nice, considering where the flute was, because I mean, I felt like I was probably behind by a good margin with how late I found the lamp and all of that, and then once I realized that everything was locked behind that flute and you had to have a sword, and it was kind of tucked away in an ether tablet, I figured maybe you could fall for the same gambits there as well.
You guys wouldn't know it, but you guys were only about maybe a minute behind at that part.
Oh wow! It was definitely a weird seed. I think I don't know.
So I'm gonna ask Penguinpuff a question, and I don't want any assistance from anybody else in this room. What do you think was in that one other chest that you didn't check where the big key was in Ganon's tower?
Silver arrows?
Nope, half magic.
Oh, okay. That's not so bad.
Yeah, neither of you guys found the silver arrows, so it was in one of the chests you guys did not check. It was deep in there, so we'd have no idea where it was hiding.
The half magic would have been nice for the gauntlet, but it was okay.
Yeah, it would have been really insane if that did turn out to be the silver arrows in that one chest. We were going on about it.
Yeah. I was, when I got it, I was kind of like, when I skipped it, I was like, what am I doing? That was another, like, my brain's taking over, my fingers are taking over, and my brain's just like the passenger.
How nervous were you as the seed kept rolling along? Just how late it was starting to get with the seed before you got into go mode. Were you worried at some point that Ack was about to do the dot done?
Yeah, like the whole time. At like 1:30, I'm like, oh, Ack's like a great player. It's over. So I was kind of disassociated from like the game, and I was just kind of doing my own thing. I wasn't really thinking about it.
No, I think around 1:30, I was just kind of hanging out in swamp without a hook shot, wondering, where am I?
Uh-huh.
You guys gave us a fantastic run. So one other question here for Penguinpuff. Fighter, sword, cold stare.
Yeah, it was okay. We had the hammer. And I took it like really slow because I'm like, I don't want to die and then do another like 4 minutes into Ice Palace or 3 minutes or however long it takes.
We kept waiting to see whether or not that green pennant was worth anything, and sadly it wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
would have been nice. Well, I guess it probably would have helped him more at that point.
Yeah, we spent like half a good chunk, like a good 10-20 minutes sitting there going like, it's green pennant's the critical moment. That's the big one. That's the big one. And it turned out to be a complete waste of time. I was like, ah, crud.
And then Ack goes in too.
Well, if he'd done Ice Palace that early, I imagine he was probably well ahead of me for most of the race then.
You wouldn't believe how close it was. Both of you guys were at Misery Mire at the same time. Both of you guys were actually going back into Swamp. And for a little bit there, Ack, you actually had the exploration lead because you were the first one to find the boat.
Right. Oh, yeah. But once you do Mire, you're just going to go do Swamp and get the bow. Anyway, like, it was a weird linear chain that was... So it was really strange that there was no way to get, like, 2 swords to get your flute, like, any earlier. There was no sequence to break. You had to go do all the nonsense in Eastern.
Yeah, and there was like a lot of nonsense.
Yeah, yeah, it was.
Yeah, my mouth was like wide when I was at Eastern. I'm like, it can't get like, there can't be more than this, right? There was like book and boots, I think.
The lamp in the book.
Oh yeah, the lamp. Okay, never mind. I'm thinking of something else.
The boots were in the peg cave.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was a weird one. It was really weird.
So, Ack, you're now 1-1. Penguin, you are 1-0 in this group. Your thoughts going on as you continue on in this group stage?
I'll let you take it, Ack.
Oh, he asked you, man.
Oh, did he?
I think so. I mean,
I asked both of you, but one of you guys can go ahead and start first.
I could answer for Penguin. Yeah, I'm 1-0. I'm feeling pretty good right now, you know. I took down Axe, so Berry Bomb, Schwartz, Kong, I'm coming for you guys. What's
You guys have a great attitude about this, though.
No, thanks.
That's what he's doing. I promise.
Yeah, no, I'm actually just feeling like completely like I'm lost. I'm just lost. This game makes you feel lost all the time. Even when you win, sometimes you're just like, what happened?
How in the world did I win?
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and wrap things up here. So you guys, good luck with you guys in the continuation of this tournament. Should be a lot of fun.
GG, thanks for commentary in the restream as always, guys. Take care.
Even the chat's complimenting. I love how you guys are so lighthearted after all of this. GG, guys.
GG's.
All right, Acktheboker and Penguinpuff, you have anything you add, Shades?
Not much here, but I do want to say if you guys did enjoy these runners, make sure you give both Acktheboker and Penguinpuff a follow here on Twitch. And make sure you also give a shout out to our tracker, Sir Linkalot777, and of course, give a follow to myself and my co-commentator, Adirondack Rick. We are all happy to put this on for you guys, and as you know, keep your eyes.
I'm happy.
I'm always happy. You know that.
I'm happy to put this on. Do I sound happy?
Oh man. Anyway, make sure you guys stay tuned here to all of our speed gaming channels and ALTTPR randomizer channels for all of the amazing races. And I'm going to sign off as I always do by saying, rock on, guys.
All right, get on out of here. The next race coming up in 1 hour on this channel between Ventisi and Furame. Should be a lot of fun in that race. And also stay tuned for the Donkey Kong Country 3 birthday race coming up at 9 o'clock Eastern as well. 10:30 Eastern, Zelda 1 randomizer between Amazing Amphros versus JSR2 Gamers. Then at midnight, Amazing Amphros again. And Link to the Past randomizer versus the pair prince, I guess I can call them, Elminster. So for everyone here, as we mentioned once again, Sir Linkalot777 for our tracker. For the whole gang here at Speed Gaming, I'm Adirondack Rick saying goodnight and see you next time.